Morning. It is a crisp and clean, no wind Saturday morning, and about 18 degrees. And I'd like to say Happy New Year and all that good stuff. So last time we spoke, we had issues with an auxiliary pump on a skid steer. And I told you I was taking this off and replacing it. And we did. And then the issues are, this was the gear to the pump. And when you put the two together, it wouldn't turn. I mean, it's loose. There's no gears in there to get it to turn. So now that I've made a mess of my gloves, so we had put the new, what I call the adapter gear or whatever, on the skid steer, and as you can see, it's back together. There wasn't a lot. I mean, I could have taped assembling this whole thing. The problem was, in doing so, this was a mess. I drained all the hydraulic fluid out of it because I've had this unit for 20 some years, and actually 20 years this year, and I've never drained the fluid. It was dark, excuse me, but it worked. It wasn't the fluid problem. But the good news is I got a buddy of mine who says he can use the fluid in some equipment he has that just leaks like a sieve. But anywho, there it is. Now, the only trouble that I had in putting that on, let's see, when I left you last, I put that little adapter gear on the motor. So basically, and I drained the fluid. So basically, all I've done now is I greased it, and I took this and put it back on, and I had to go and get a new fitting here to adapt to the JCV, whatever those are. And this one here bolted right on. This was a little bit bigger, so I had to go to the nearest hydraulic shop, and he got me, fit me a fitting perfect for that. And that wasn't a problem because I had enough hose here to get it. Now, on this side, this, as you can see, I've moved this hose out 1/4 of an inch. Now, thank goodness whoever put the supply hose in there gave me a little room. I had to heat it with a heat gun. I could have done it with a torch, I guess, but I have a pretty hot heat gun. When I used to fly remote controlled airplanes, used to heat the skin up to melt it to the wood to make it tight. So that heat gun came in handy. So I heated this hose up across here and loosened the clamp and then pulled it out 1/4 of an inch, put the clamp back on, and I was able to get this screwed on and tight. That's it. It works perfect. If you were to get a pump from Case, and I'm not knocking Case because I get stuff from them all the time, but to get this pump from Case, they were wanting $2,300. This one here cost me a little over $6. Now, the hoses are as I've just said, the one hose did not just go directly on. I had to get an adapter, but the adapter was $8. So, and that little spline, the adapter that goes between the pump and the motor, Case wanted $275. I bought both the adapter and the pump together on Amazon, but it went through one of these farm, oh, I can't remember, it's 4 letters, agriculture, something, something, something. Anyway, it went through them and I paid, with that and the adapter, it was about 700 bucks. The new fitting was $8, and hydraulic fluid was 110 bucks a 5-gallon pail. So I've got roughly 1,000, give or take, in it. And my time-wise, I don't have much except for the cold. I didn't want to do it when it was cold. So I don't have a lot of time in it. I had maybe the first video that I did, by talking to you, it takes longer, of course, but I maybe had not even an hour in it. Taking the rear engine mount off, you know, strapping it up to the cage, which worked fantastic. Those bolts, when you put them back on, I just tightened them tight. Put new, they do recommend in my case manual that you put new lock washers on them. And you put also new lock washers on the 2 bolts that go from the pump into the mount also. And I just tighten those tight also. I do have a tendency to over tighten, so I had to be careful doing that. Greased the, you know, of course, the 2 places there where I've showed you before. I can't emphasize that enough to get grease on that. I would not put anti-seize on it. I thought about it, but it has a grease zerk, so I figure I might as well just start out with grease, and I put a ton on it, so it should be good for a while. Started it up, ran the bucket and the arms once or twice. Everything checked out. I had a little leak in that right side where I put the new piece on the pump that I told you I had to get from a hydraulics place, but that was not there. It was in the no, I can't, that they call that a JVC joint, or anyway, all I had to do is just tighten up the nut. Excuse me. All I had to do is just tighten up the nut and everything's fine. It's been sitting here for a week and it hasn't been leaking. So I ran it up and down the driveway. Everything is good. It's actually better than it was. It's more, the skid steer is more active, more reactive than what it was. Bucket sharper, arms go up sharper and quicker. And even the drive is, I would say, is probably better. So anyway, guys, that was pretty easy fix. To put the hardest part was to get the mount back on the engine because it's heavy. And I put the pump on to the mount on the skid steer first before I put the hoses to it. I put it in a vise and put the 2 adapters that go into the pump that hook to the hoses. I did do those off the skid steer, but I put the pump on, tightened it, and then put the hoses on after that, filled it with fluid, and we're good to go. So I thought that'd be a great update for you. Pretty good fix. Like I said, $1,000 with the fluid. Sorry, Case, you just want too much money for that, for a replacement pump and stuff. So there you go, guys. That's it. Have a good New Year, and I'll talk to you again real soon. And we will talk to you later. Bye.